UPAF, the United Performing Arts Fund. We're for the performing arts. We're for the spotlight, the stage. We're for song and dance, for drama. We're for laughter and applause, for actors and stagehands and technicians. We're for the company, for those on stage and in the audience. We're for arts education, for children and learning, for arts in classrooms and in our neighborhoods. We're for Milwaukee and Tulsa, for Waukesha and Racine and beyond. For inspiring experiences and access for all. For an energized community and energized people. We're for raising our community up. And if you're for this, you're for us. So donate.
Well, that was marvelous. I had every intention of saying something really silly and funny and witty, and instead I'm all in my feelings because I love this city and I love what we offer, and it is so good to be here. Um, Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we launch the 2022 United Performing Arts Fund Community Launch, the nation's largest community fundraising effort for the performing arts. We are so grateful that you are gathering with us virtually tonight due to tonight's inclement weather, and hope that you are all joining us from someplace safe and warm, and maybe you have a drink in your hand, or if you're me, a warm slice of pizza waiting. And now, first off, let me start by thanking our fantastic pre-show performers from the Milwaukee High School of the Arts, representing one of UPAF's newest affiliate organizations, Halat African Drum and Dance for Life. This organization seeks to entertain and educate the public, specifically our youth, about the arts through concerts, workshops, and classes, providing access to cultural arts related to the African and African American experience. My name is Reyna Roman, and I myself am a proud graduate of Milwaukee High School of the Arts. I will be your host for this evening. I have been blessed to be a part of this vibrant professional arts community for 16 years now. Whether I'm on stage or in the audience, taking a voice lesson or coaching a young artist, I'm constantly reminded of how beautifully woven this city and our people are. Milwaukee is unique in the way it not only embraces art, but makes family out of the humans who create that art. Both of my brothers work in the arts, one for Skylight Music Theater and one for the Milwaukee Ballet. I have nannied for the artistic director of Milwaukee Opera Theater. The woman who cuts my hair is an emerging playwright. My massage therapist is an actress and a director. Heck, even my therapist is a season ticket holder at the Milwaukee Rep. So, art and family and community. What's better than that? That's why I'm here. How about you? Whether you're an artist who is for the exhilarating feeling you get during the final curtain call, an arts administrator who is for ensuring vibrant, stable artistic community, or a volunteer who is for making our community a better place to live, work, and play, we proudly stand with you in saying that we are for the arts, and ask that you join us in spreading that message. This evening, we will be sharing just some of the many ways we are all for the arts, alongside performances by some of our talented local artists. Without exception, the performing arts community would not exist without fantastic artists. That's why UPAF will always be for excellence in entertainment, ensuring the very best of music, dance, song, and theater for Eastern Wisconsin, with an abundance of diverse local talent. Thousands of artists make this great city their home, a city filled with opportunities to share their talents and make their living as performing artists. A shining example of world-class talent, the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra is a local treasure that is now able to showcase their artists in this incredible new space, the Bradley Symphony Center, which you can't see right now, you lovely humans, but I hope you step foot in it soon. I'd now like to welcome Tina Itzen, the MSO's Director of Institutional Giving, to share a few words and introduce a special performance from the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Tina?
Good evening. My name is Tina Itzen, and I'm the Director of Institutional Giving here at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. On behalf of our Executive Director, Mark Niehaus, our Board President, Susan Martin, and our Music Director, Ken David Mazur, I'm excited to welcome you virtually to the new Bradley Symphony Center as we kick off this year's Upaf campaign. While we can't be here in person this evening in this stunning new home, the MSO is grateful to be a part of the Milwaukee arts community as we continue to strive for artistic excellence, as well as do our part in the community to make the arts something that is available and accessible to all. I hope that you enjoy tonight's program, and I also hope that you get a chance to come back to this space to visit the Milwaukee Symphony in person and experience this wonderful Milwaukee treasure. I now have the honor of introducing you to one of our MSO musicians who will perform for you tonight. Please enjoy a performance of the prelude of the Bach Cello Suite No. 3 in C minor by cellist Peter Thomas.
Okay, I'm gonna need to take a drink. Thank you, Peter, for that incredible performance. I don't know where you are, but I think we all want to transport to the cabin-esque locale that you just created that magic from. Thank you so very much. That was gorgeous. Now it is time to introduce someone who most certainly is for the arts. UPAF President and CEO, Patrick Raff.
Reyna, thank you so very much. I am so glad to be with all of you today who are joining us virtually. There was in each one of the letters I signed, I at the end of it, I say, see you in the theater. And we were so looking forward tonight to say you are in the theater. And for the last 5 months, so many of you have participated to be in the theaters with our great artists, our great ensembles, and just enjoying what the arts have to offer for our community. Tonight, it didn't go our way. By all means, though, the love, the appreciation, and just what you heard from Peter, the sounds coming through there and just how it just resonates in your body and your being and a little bit feeding your soul just means so much to all of us who are engaged and love the performing arts. And I know that every one of you who are tuned in right now, safe and hopefully with that drink, hopefully your pizza is as warm as Reyna's is. And you are also enjoying and know how much the arts mean to you and mean to this community. And we'll share a little bit more on why that's so very important. I also just want to note there, because Peter played the Bach cello suite, beautiful piece. There was a time in my life, I'm a string bass player, I could do that. I cannot do that again. So I am really happy to see amazing artists like that who can bring that to us. I also want to do another thank you to the wonderful team at the MSO. We were going to be in their new Bradley Symphony Center space tonight. It is fantastic. It is state-of-the-art. It is one of the best in the nation. And unfortunately, we did not have the chance to show that off. But what they are doing for the arts in our community, being a catalyst for what will happen, what we all believe is continued growth and revitalization of Western Wisconsin Avenue, and just add so much more vibrancy to our city. Just thank you to the MSO. Thank you to Tina. Thank you to Mark Niehaus, all of you for your dedication, putting together what would have been just a great coming together for all of us. I also want to thank two of our staff members, Katie Korick and Sarah Giovanetti, who have been working very hard on this activity for the last month and a couple months now, making sure that we had all these great opportunities available for you to experience the arts. While we couldn't do that in person, they moved so quickly today in the face of our weather emergency to put this together. And I want to thank you both for just representing the best of UPAF and, of course, bringing the arts back to all of us in this way. So as Reyna said, the United Performing Arts Fund is for a diverse and abundant performing arts scene that offers all in our community the best in music, song, dance, and theater, and especially arts education opportunities that are second to none. We know that it takes a large group of people to make that happen. So thank you all for investing your time, not only tonight, but what you do all year long to lift up the performing arts in the way that you do that. We also know that there are many people who make a difference in the ability for us to have an impact. People behind the scenes and those people who give so much of themselves daily. Well, we've lost two individuals very recently of the entire Performing Arts Fund family. One is Susan Loris, who is and was the Executive Vice President for Institutional Advancement for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. And also from our very own team, Betsy McCormick, our operations coordinator, who passed away just this past week unexpectedly. Both of these passings were unexpected, and both have left a hole in the families, both the MSO and UPAF. We miss them each greatly. I will say that Susan was a bright light in the performing arts, and for all who knew her, she worked with First Stage, she worked with the ballet, she worked with Florentine Opera and the MSO. And much of what you would have and what you experienced at the Bradley Symphony Center, it's because she and Mark worked side by side to make that vision a reality. And I certainly believe without Susan, I'm not sure if that vision would have come to fruition. And Betsy's the glue that did so much to help our entire UPAF team stay focused, represent the best of ourselves. And anything that we asked of Betsy, it not only was done so well, it was done beyond perfection. And she would hold us accountable for being better. We're going to miss both of these individuals. And we're going to miss those that we've all lost during this time frame due to COVID and due to other reasons, as we haven't been able to be together. We hope these days only get better. And as we go forward, we know these days will get better. And with that, I just want to talk a little bit about our members and affiliates and what they have, what they've continued to go through during this past time frame. As many of you all know, it's only been about 5 months. We've been closed for 2 years predominantly, but only the last 5 months have we been only open up and be able to experience the arts as we've known it somewhat in the past. But during this time frame, regardless of what obstacle was being faced, our members rose to the occasion to bring the arts to our entire community in a very robust way. And here's just some of the stats. Over 1,200 artists were employed in this past year by our members, making a statement that our artists are critical to the fabric of our community and they need to be valued and appreciated every step of the way. We moved from in-person to virtual performances and created wonderful, unique opportunities. The Florentine Opera brought us around the world to showcase what we were doing. The first stage, they took us on our own adventures for what that would look like. And then other organizations just created something that was really unparalleled in other communities across the country because they worked with their unions, they brought forward original content and made it accessible in so many ways. And with that, 161,000 of our youth in the community had an arts experience this past year. That is more than double that we see in a traditional year when we rely mostly on in-person performances. And that's because that virtual reach extended through a very wide geography, as well as into schools and platforms that otherwise didn't have the ability to experience that. So we are so thankful for our members to being innovative and finding new ways to really lift up the arts and make that core to everybody that we know and so essential to our daily life. During this time, we relied significantly on funding from any source possible. And for all of you who raise up and support the United Performing Arts Fund, you were essential during this time. Upaf Giving created a core, stable environment each year for our members to rely on dollars on a monthly basis to help them meet that payroll, to help them do some of these new activities, to help them expand in some of the virtual efforts that they were doing. They also received fantastic contributions from their many donors, and they also received significant government support. Now, we weren't sure if that government support was going to come through, but it did, thanks to a lot of good work by individuals in this community. People like Kendra Ingram from the Marcus Center, as well as Gary Witt from the Pabst Theater Group, as well as other members of United Performing Arts Fund, all coming together, advocating and working at a national level to find more support for the arts. What that translated to was a significant inflow of dollars right when it was needed most to keep those operations going forward. However, regardless of how much money that was a one-time effort, and it still is a reduction in the deficit compared to all the dollars that have been lost due to closures and not having tickets purchased for many performances. At our account right now, we expect that number is still at around $6 million and still rising because we don't have those full houses, even though the performing arts venues are some of the safest you can see and imagine anywhere you go to experience any type of activity. We don't have the same volume of people coming back. But I will tell you, the performances are second to none at this point in time. And we stand up and we say thank you for all of you who are living your life, living your calling as artists, producing really fantastic work for all of us to experience and enjoy, and bringing our city back in a fantastic way. With that, the United Performing Arts Fund is committed to raising more dollars than last year and continue to raise as much money as possible. We don't want to stop at one number. We want to keep going forward and having as many people in the community step forward and make a gift through UPAF for our members and affiliates. In fact, one gift to UPAF is now supporting 40 organizations throughout Eastern Wisconsin. These are some of the best, again, not only in music, song, dance, and theater, but also diving into the diversity of what we have in our community and the richness of all the different art forms that we see. At this point in time, we are pleased to share that our goal, our target for this year is $10.5 million. And we're going to need everybody in our community to be a part of that. And we're going to welcome everybody with their gift. Everybody can be a part of giving to the arts, and everybody experiences the arts. Be a part and make this $10.5 million target not only a reality, but for us to go well past this. Now, I'm asked many times, why are the arts essential? There's so many reasons for why the arts are essential, but when we talk about what we're for, one of the things I'm for is for our artists. Those individuals who dedicate their life, and we talked about this just a second ago, their calling to their art form, They have gone through a very difficult time. When the performances shut down, their income shut down. And they don't rely just on one performance. They rely on a whole ecosystem of different venues, of different ensembles, of different organizations to make their livelihood. And they could not piece that together in the same way. But our performing arts community came together and made sure that there was more opportunities for those artists and for that staff to be active and to find a way to stay present in the arts where a lot of other communities stayed dark. One of those individuals, and I know she's with us today, is Sherry Williams Pannell. Sherry is a gift to this community, an incredible talent, and we've been so appreciative to share her story. And if I could just say, there's one thing that I have been blown away. I'm going to read this. These are the few highlights of what Sherry has done just in the past year and what she's doing this year. So Sherry has worked with UPAF members to present a number of stirring projects, including First Stages, A Bronzeville Christmas Story, which was a continuation of her trilogy story with this Bronzeville theme. I saw this at St. John's on the Lake. It was fantastic. She took the heart and the soul of the African-American experience in the 1950s in Milwaukee and what it was like in the South and how families were connected, and that love was always there. Sherry, it was beautiful. She worked with Black Arts MKE for Freedom Songs, the African-American Spirituals. She worked with Skylight Music Theater for Forgotten Voices. And of course, the Milwaukee Black Theater Festival brought together by Milwaukee Chamber Theater and Black Arts MKE. That is what she did last year amongst so many things. And this year, she is working with Florentine Opera and La Boheme, set in Milwaukee's Bronzeville neighborhood in the 1940s. And again, with Black Arts MKE and the Bronzeville Arts Ensembles and Mothers Against Gun Violence, Milwaukee Voices of Gun Violence, resolute, resilient, and revolutionary. And those experiences you can see right now. Sherry, you are, as I said, a gift. But beyond that, there are so many that I just want to say thank you to, because you have persevered to this time frame. And give me an indulgence at this point in time as I just read some of those names, because some of them don't need just one name to hear the full name. You just know them by their first name. But people like Jeff Frank, Samantha Montgomery, Jenna Ernst, Nathaniel Kataka, Michael Pink, Itzel Hernandez, Kelly Faulkner, Jim Guy, Ken David Mazur, Alana Satepan, Michael Unger, Ryan Kappelman. I think I also saw on the feed here, we had Susan Varela and, of course, Andrew Varela, great friends of UPAF. Jill Anna Ponasek, who's just been bringing great works to us. Richard Henson, Sean Holmes, Malkia Stampley, who's such a driving force with the Black Theater Festival this year. Kim Johnson, Gabby Sastashi, Brent Hazelton, Matt Daniels, Frank Allman, Melena Moore, Grace DeWolf, DeMonta Henning, and of course, Reyna Roman. And if any of you have just seen Mala, you know what a talent Reyna is for our community. I just want to give all of you a standing ovation. You make this community so great. You give so much of yourself. Our ability to raise funds for you and for the great organizations that lift you up and put you on stage, it is an honor. And we are looking forward to our best year yet in raising more dollars so that our arts community can be as strong as possible. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for our time. There is much that we're going to do, and the heart of it is our volunteers. And one of the best leaders for our volunteer effort starts with our board chair, Tim Mackey. And I'm going to share the stage now with Tim.
While I wish I could be with you all in person, I'm glad I could be here with you virtually tonight. As the United Performing Arts Fund Board Chair, it's my pleasure to work alongside such talented individuals as we raise critical dollars for the performing arts in our region. We at UPAF are lucky to have countless dedicated community members who choose to elevate the arts as their top priority. The Board of Directors does a phenomenal job in maintaining UPAF's mission and vision, leading our fundraising strategy, and playing an active role as exceptional champions for UPAF within their own workplaces. In 2022, we're also pleased to introduce the UPAF Chorus Line, one singular sensation unifying more than 300 UPAF volunteers from the business community, dedicated arts patrons, and performing arts member organizations. These volunteers are charged with aiding in our day-to-day fundraising efforts, as well as sharing the story of UPAF members and affiliates far and wide within our community. It truly takes every volunteer to reach the ambitious targets we set each and every year. And I want to express my deepest gratitude not only to all of those who play those important behind-the-scenes roles in our efforts, but also to all of you with us tonight who serve as constant advocates for UPAF and the performing arts sector in Eastern Wisconsin. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick and Tim, for those inspiring words and for your fantastic leadership. Our local artists and groups are committed to ensuring that people of all ages and from all walks of life can experience the arts with the help of UPAF's 3 community impact programs. UPAF Connect, presented by Northwestern Mutual, ensures that individuals from marginalized neighborhoods have opportunities to participate in the arts. Casey's Fund, presented by MGIC, expands arts access for people with disabilities. And UPAF Bright Minds, presented by the We Energies Foundation, provides transformative educational programs for local children. In 2021, UPAF Bright Minds aided in providing immersive arts education training for more than 50,000 young people, both in and out of the classroom throughout the year. One special organization that exemplifies how UPAF is for arts education is First Stage. In their theater academy, students are taught life skills through stage skills. To talk a bit about her experience with First Stage and to share a performance with us, please welcome Eloise Field.
Hi, my name is Eloise Field, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about First Stage and how it changed my life, and then I'm going to sing a short cut of the song Change in Me. So when I was very little, there were 1,000,001 things that I wanted to do with my life. One day I wanted to be a veterinarian, and the day after a race car driver, and probably the day after that a princess. I would take all sorts of classes and delve into different interests, but nothing really stuck with me until I took my first class with First Stage. And I got in the car after my first day and I looked at my mom and I said, "Mom, I am going to be an actor for the rest of my life." And she did not take me very seriously, but here I am 14 years later and I still haven't changed my mind. I was signed up for more First Stage classes, and it didn't take long to realize that First Stage was a place that was different from anywhere I had ever been. Because First Stage didn't simply teach kids how to act or sing or dance. First Stage taught kids to have a passion for what they were doing and a love of learning. Teachers passed down this love to their students, and their students wanted to be in the classroom, not just because they loved what they were doing, but also because they were very inspired to build a community where everyone could feel like they belong. Until high school, I went to your typical public school district, and I can say that in your typical public school district, there are not a lot of kids who are inspired or inspiring, and oftentimes the teachers were not passionate about what they were teaching. It made me realize just how lucky I was to have the incredible community and the incredible learning experiences that I had at First Stage. I did every show and took every class that I could, but it still wasn't enough for me. At the end of my 7th grade year, I decided that I needed to audition for First Stage's high school-aged advanced acting program called Young Company. And despite being too young, I auditioned and got in. And when I started my training there, I was a little bit nervous because I was going to be training alongside of kids that I had idolized for years with some of the greatest teachers that you can find anywhere. But as soon as I started working with them, I realized that there was nothing to be worried about because Young Company was just like the rest of First Stage, only even more passionate and supportive. And this year, when I started my college applications, I knew that First Stage had prepared me not only to do the best monologue or song that I possibly feel I could, but to be a well-rounded individual who loves learning that would look good to any college. First Stage, the people there, and everything they stand for will always hold a very special place in my heart. And that is why UPAF is so important, so that kids like me and my friends can continue to have life-changing experiences. And I never thought I'd leave behind my childhood home, but I don't mind. I'm where and who I want to be. No change of heart, a change in me. No change of heart, change in me. Thank you.
Let's see, how many times can Reyna cry in one night? Thank you, Eloise, for that inspiring performance and for your incredibly thoughtful words. Thank you for sharing with us your experience. Sounds right on point to everything I know about First Stage 2. If you would like to see more of Eloise, and I know that you would, don't miss the upcoming production at First Stage of The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors, opening March 5th at the Todd Weir. At UPAF, we are also for building a better community through the performing arts. The arts promote true prosperity. They positively impact our local economy by creating jobs, promoting spending, and attracting talent. They can inspire civic pride, connect generations, bridge diverse groups, and serve as a change agent, just like the MSO did with this facility and the coming renaissance of West Wisconsin Avenue. To ensure our performing arts community is always at its best, it takes hundreds of volunteers, all doing what they can to raise funds and build connections. The UPAF Chorus Line is our leading volunteer effort to welcome new donors and longtime friends to support our vital performing arts ecosystem. The volunteer experiences of this singular sensation are being shaped by 4 leaders of the Chorus Line. It is my pleasure to welcome George and Sally Meyer, Jen Moran, and Michael Rampola, our Chorus Line leads, to share why they are all for the arts. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, George, we'll start with you. In addition to being a Chorus Line lead, you are also a UPAF board member, and you led the charge at the Kaler Slater in the creation of this beautiful Bradley Symphony Center. And Sally, our arts community is the fortunate beneficiary of your generous volunteer efforts. Can you both share a bit about the role that the performing arts play in advancing and bettering our community?
Sure. Thank you, Reyna. I am for the arts because I'm for creativity and creative people. And UPAF has been supporting UPAF members and affiliates. This support is for a talented group of artists and musicians and performers. They present their incredible skills and crafts to us in every performance and spread their creativity throughout our community. Artists and other creative people inspire new ideas, new buildings, new messages, stories, stores, restaurants, events, gathering spaces, and all the elements of how a city grows and develops. We see this in our neighborhoods every day. Creative people are the driving force for economic development in a city, and a strong performing arts sector attracts even more creative people. Cities need creativity and the performing arts to grow, thrive, and bring new people into the community. We are raising money for the UPAF members and affiliates in order to increase their economic stability. In turn, the performing arts increase our economic vitality in our community. We all benefit from supporting the artists, the arts and the performing arts. Judy?
Thank you, honey. Well, good evening. And I just can't believe what a fabulous event this is being, even with all the problems that we have with our weather. But we are thrilled to be part of this outstanding group of passionate and dedicated individuals that have joined together as a singular sensation for UPAF. Well, Milwaukee is a wonderful place to live. We love it. Our performing arts culture has something for everyone. Attending a live performance, especially after these last 2 years, really has brought us great joy, expanded our insights, and calmness. To be able to escape into the depths of an outstanding performance expands our own knowledge, our own emotions, and our relationships with those around us. I feel the variety of performances and performing arts groups in our community opens our eyes and our souls, not only to ourselves, but also to our neighbors. And this can only improve our city and our communities. We hope our small part with UPAF will help to keep this positive momentum going well into the future for our community's youth, families, leaders, visitors, and all residents. Thank you for your involvement with UPAF and our member groups. And here's to every little step we take towards an outstanding UPAF campaign. Thank you, Reyna.
Thank you, George and Sally. And thank you for the puns. That's fun too. And I'm going to shoot over to you, Jen. So you and your whole family have embraced the arts. Can you share a bit about what the arts have done in the lives of your children and how the great work of UPAF members positively impacts so many young people in our area?
Sure, I'd love to. Thanks, UPAF, for inviting me to be a part of the chorus line co-chair leads. It's a wonderful group, and we're also passionate, and I just love being a part of a group that supports the arts. As a newbie to the Milwaukee area, I have just been living here for 9 years from the East Coast, and finding a thriving art scene in Milwaukee, I'll jump on what George and Sally had to say, was just a huge benefit to moving to this fantastic community, to know that their performing arts scene was there was just a wealth of talent. I knew that I wanted to raise my children to be involved and inspired and discover the performing arts. So when we moved here, I was able to find events from the Florentine Opera, which we loved when we went to go see Billy Goat's Gruff. We went to see the Milwaukee Ballet perform at the Milwaukee Art Museum, just do a small little show. We, even through our school, we were able to have the children go to see the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra through their ACE program, which I believe is through the Bright Minds initiative with UPAF. And I didn't know that at the time, but I know that now. So I see that arts education is so important in developing young children. I feel like it makes them more creative. They are better problem solvers. They're more compassionate. And they're curious, and they're open to diverse ideas and people. So I truly believe that the performing arts has inspired my children into, my son is playing the trumpet and he's in jazz ensemble now. My daughter plays the violin. They both have done choir. My daughter tried out for her elementary school musical that will actually be able to perform at the Sharon Lynn Wilson Center in 2 weeks. So if you want to see Little Mermaid, shout out to Sebastian, who my daughter is playing. So my hope is that UPAF continues to raise these funds to support the performing arts so that we can reach more children in the community. With the help of UPAF, I know my wish will come true. And I truly believe that they are committed to arts for all. And that's my inspiration, just getting as many children involved in the community as possible.
Oh, thank you. I love that so, so very much. Children are near and dear to my heart, and First Stage has been a wonderful theater home too. So I'm so glad. Welcome. I know it's 9 years, but welcome, and we're so glad you are here.
Thanks, me too.
So Michael, I'll give you the floor to share why you choose to be for the arts and how others in this room can identify their why in order to spread the word about the great work of our region's performing arts sector.
Thank you, Reyna. I appreciate it. I am inspired by the performing arts for a lot of reasons. And one of the main reasons I'm inspired is because I see how performances inspire others to do more, to be more, to create more. And I know it's true for me. It's true for me because I can think back to performances I've attended, performances I've been a part of, going back to high school and college and beyond. And each of those performances, whether as a participant or as an observer, as somebody supporting, inspired me in a different way, inspired me to do something different, to create something. And so I'm actually going to take advantage of this pirouette we've made to this virtual event, realizing this would have been completely, if not totally impossible at the Symphony Center. But since we've got people literally live participating and I've been watching the comments, I'm going to get everybody else in on this conversation because I think that's kind of the point. We've connected together a lot of different people from a lot of different places tonight. And I want to encourage everyone else who's joined us to share their inspired stories as well. So here's my question for those of you following along and commenting in our chat right now. What have you been inspired to do because of a performance you've seen? What new idea or creative change have you made because of the role that the arts have played in your life? What's different, new, better, more amazing because of what the arts has done for you? I know you've got a story. It can be a small story, and a lot of times those little things make the biggest difference, as you know. So I know for me, watching how others get inspired inspires me. It's key to the work that I do and supporting others and doing their work. So I am often inspired by the inspiration of others. And I just want to fill up the room virtually, so to speak, with those ideas, because I know my why is helping other people find theirs. And if I can help a few more people identify and continue to share those ideas out beyond this event tonight, then we're going to be able to do that much more for the arts, support the performing arts even more, which will inspire that many more people. I'm basically going for the multiplication play here, because we're going to get to that goal. And one of the best ways to get there is to spread and multiply our message and take that inspiration, not just for one, but for more and for more and for even more and many beyond that. So calling a complete audible here, but I think that's the theme of the night. And I'm now watching the chat blow up, which is exactly the point. So keep sharing those ideas about what inspires you. I'm inspired by those inspiring stories more than anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see the chat from the actual viewing side. So I hope that there's a way that can be shared. I would love to see that. That was really beautiful. Thank you, Michael. We all have our whys for why we get in, but how to inspire others beyond is absolutely what a great challenge. Thank you for throwing that out there.
Absolutely.
We are so lucky to have such incredible individuals choreographing for the Chorus Line volunteer experience this year. Thank you again to all who are giving your time and talents to support the performing arts. Now on to our final performance of the evening. Upaf is for representation. These past years have been a time of deep reflection, conversation, and increased momentum for equity, diversity, and inclusion in all aspects of our communities, including the performing arts. The performing arts have the unique ability to bring the stories of the day to life. We can bring the unique and diverse experiences of those around us to the forefront. An example of these stories can be seen in Skylight Music Theater's upcoming production of The Raisin, based on the play A Raisin in the Sun. This musical follows the struggles of a Chicago family, the first African Americans to buy a house in the all-white neighborhood of Clybourne Park. Ambition nearly rips the family apart as Raisin travels from jubilation to heartbreak to ultimate triumph, while reaching for a piece of the American dream. To perform the song Men Say from the show, please welcome the Sean Holmes.
Eat my eggs, eat my eggs. Men say I got me a dream. A woman says, pass the cream. Men say, just hear the plans I've made. A woman says, marmalade. Men say, don't make me wait. A woman says, pass your plate. Men say, here's what I care about most. A woman says, I burnt the toast. Men say, I got to do something big for I get too old. A woman says, coffee's getting cold. Men say, when the chance come by, win or lose, gotta try. That boy sleeping in the living room needs living room to grow. Take a look around. What do you see? Is this gonna be all he'll ever know? Men say, look out, don't try to slow me down. Here comes a giant 50-foot arm. He say, here's where it's at. Reach up, grab the piece of the sky. There is the answer I've been looking for. It's clear as the sky can be. Not a minute way to make to great. Hollywood's been late, especially for me. Man, say right now, this is the chance to move. No time to walk, get ready to fly. Man, say life's on the line. He say he stirs your mind, wake up before it passes you by. Woman say, woman says, eat your eggs. Damn.
Thank you, Sean. His voice, it's like butter, right? It just, I don't know what you want to do with it, but it tastes good. Whenever you hear it. Sean, thank you very much. Thank you for what you do and for all the ways in which you're performing. I want to just thank Reyna again for being our host and our MC tonight. Big applause, standing ovation for Reyna. If we were all together, there'd be a lot of plaques. When we had Facebook, there's a lot of like those love symbols that people are pitting right now for Reyna. We just are so appreciative for you. If you see her name performing anywhere, know you're in for a great performance. Run, go see it, buy tickets. You're going to have a great time. Reyna, you are fantastic. With this, we're getting to our close for tonight. And I just want to thank all of you for joining us. We had over 100 people who have been joining this entire presentation live. I doubt we would have had that many people come downtown on this very icy and dangerous night. And we were talking before, we didn't want anybody to truly break a leg, even though that's an expression used often. Tonight was not the night for it. So with this, my thank yous, I want to extend a great thank you to our board of directors. You heard from Tim Mackey, but our board of directors set so much of the direction of UPAF, always thinking about the best of our community and doing whatever is possible to lift up our community. You heard from our chorus line, our great chorus line leads. Another applause for what they're doing this year to create this volunteer experience. More than 300 people standing up and saying yes for the arts, asking people, singing and dancing into people's hearts to give them the joy that they have around the performing arts and to help make more of these dreams possible by hitting our target and going well beyond. Thank you to all of our chorus line members who are part of this call. We cannot do any of this without your involvement. And of course, the UPAF staff. We have been separated for a long time. We're doing this virtual. It was one of the few times we're going to be back together, but we are coming back together more and more. And I just want to thank you for everything you do on a daily basis to make the arts accessible for all and ensure that we will always be there for our arts community. With that, this is just the third act. What we're announcing tonight is our overall target for fundraising for the year, but we're actually in our Act 3 of our fundraising year with our community campaign launch, with a lot of fundraising happening over the next 3 months with our workplace campaigns, our new Innovative Arts Days activities, as well as all those solicitations that are happening direct to one individuals, companies, and foundations. But we're also planning for our fourth act, which starts in the month of June, and it's in June, July, and August. And we've got some great things coming up that we wanted to make sure you knew about and to let others know about that too. So I believe right now there might be a slide coming up as we talk about the Ride for the Arts, which is on Sunday, June 5th. And we are coming back to the Hone. I want to thank Christine Honacki, who has just been a wonderful leader in conceptualizing and bringing this back to our community, as well as Sarah, as we referenced before. You two are coming up with great ideas. Not only will we create this wonderful, safe environment where both lanes of the Hone Bridge will be closed, we are also creating a slow roll for the arts through the Third Ward and having some great activities at the Baumgartner Center for Dance. There will be no ice this day. If there is ice this day, something else is frozen over. But this is going to be a day where you want to put on your calendar right now. Join us. We're coming back, and with our good friends presented by Miller Lite, we're looking for great refreshments and a great after party of that day as well. Then we have for our next activity, a little bit later this summer is our Dancing on the Green, celebrating our 10th anniversary of Dancing on the Green, presented by Reinhardt on Monday, July 18th at North Shore Country Club. This is, again, a great event that lifts up our UPAF Connect program, that infuses more of the performing arts with our community partners, creating opportunities for individuals and populations that otherwise would not have access to the arts. So thank you all who get engaged and involved in this great purpose and for a great day for the arts. And last but not least, I want to reference our Rally for Arts Education that'll take place between July and August as we stand up again for Bright Minds program that you heard a little bit about, how essential it is for so many of our members to create those immersive experiences and build those life skills that make a difference to so many of our youth. All of these activities make a difference, and all these activities are inspired by your gift. And we want to thank you for what you give, your time, your treasure, and your talent for what we have as far as the performing arts. And with that, we would have done something tonight where we would have had a toast because we would have been together, because that's what you do when you get together. You have a toast. We don't have that. However, our chorus line leads were suggesting, and we didn't know this, it's National Margarita Day. So if you do have those margarita fixings, the salt that you are applying generously on your sidewalks and your driveways, don't put that on your drink. But take some of the other salt, put that on top of your margarita glass, and have a margarita, because that's what you do when you can't go outside. With all of that, thank you, everybody. We will see you in the theaters. I can't wait to see you all again. And thank you for supporting the United Performing Arts Fund. We love you all, and we'll see you soon.